천자문,
千字文、
千字文.
In this lesson, we will look at characters 505 through 512 of the 1,000 character classic, the 1,500-year-old Chinese classic, in which no characters are repeated. High-ranking officials accompany the imperial carriage.
고관배련,
高冠陪輦、
高冠陪輦.
Riding in chariots, their tassels fluttering.
구곡진영,
苦国新鋭、
驱轂振纓.
Let's look at line 127. I'll offer an English translation character by character. High, tall. Crown. Accompany. Cart, palanquin. Together they can be translated as high-ranking officials accompany the imperial carriage. Let's hear it pronounced. You hear it from a recording in Korean, Japanese, and Chinese.
고관배련,
高冠陪輦、
高冠陪輦.
On to line 128. Drive. Wheel hub. Swing, shake. Tassel. Riding in chariots, their tassels fluttering.
구곡진영,
苦国新鋭、
驱轂振纓.
Let's look at a few radicals or components. First, have a look at the character for 505. It's both a radical and a standalone character. It is pictographic, as it looks like a tall watchtower. It's not common as a radical, but you can see it as a component on the right side of the 482nd character, which means draft. They're not related by meaning, but rather by phonetic. On to 506. This means crown, and it's indexed by the cover radical. The only other character in the classic indexed under this radical is number 648, which means dark. As a component, this radical is a frequent element in other characters. Then I want to point out that characters 508 and 510 both use the cart radical. And on top of that, the 509th character uses the horse radical. That's significant as all three of these relate to vehicles and transportation, following the meaning of these lines of the classic. Lastly, I want to mention that 512, which means tassel, includes the silk radical. This is yet another clear example of a radical being a hint to the meaning. The right side of this character is itself an obscure character, which relates to babies or infants or necklace. Finally, I just want to remind myself that this character looks a lot like the character 966, which means pacify. Based on the 8 characters of these two lines, I've come up with a word list. I've tried to select words that are common and relevant to Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. Now you'll hear the words spoken in each language. Altitude.
고도,
高度、
高度.
High rank.
고급,
高級、
高级.
Crown.
왕관,
王冠、
王冠.
Jewelry.
배심,
陪審、
陪审.
Expel.
구축,
駆逐、
驱逐.
Drive.
구동,
駆動、
驱动.
Vibrate.
진동,
振動、
震动、
Revitalize,
진흥,
振興、
振兴、
string of a crown.
관영,
寛永、
观音。
Have a look one more time at the words of this lesson. See which ones you remember. Now I'll take one more look at each of the characters and offer a few additional notes. I'll also give each character a rating. A rating of 5 suggests the character is common and essential. A rating of 1 suggests the character could be obsolete. So this one is tall or high. It's very common in all three of these languages. Note that if you're translating English into Japanese or Chinese, this character replaces both tall and high. So I noticed in the dictionary that this character is part of the Chinese word for coronavirus. I wondered why, and then learned that the corona means crown in Latin, and coronaviruses are said to resemble crowns. This character is used in the word for jury across all three of these languages. It's not much used in Japanese or Korean, but in Chinese it is commonly used as a verb meaning accompany. This character is obscure for a good reason. We don't use this kind of transportation anymore. You know, this refers to that kind of cart that was carried or pulled by people. One version of this is the palanquin. Anyway, look it up on Wikipedia for more historical examples in Asia. This is an interesting character. It basically means drive, including drive out. So it's part of words that include urge, prompt, or expel. If you're into the paranormal, this is even part of words for exorcism. This one means hub, as in the center of the wheel. The character is still used in Chinese when it comes to discussing or looking up automotive parts. In Japanese and Korean, it's a rare character. Anyway, this character appears in a famous Lao Tzu quotation, which observes that a hub keeps everything moving, but is itself empty at the core. This one means swing or waver. It's part of a common word for vibrate, such as the vibration mode of a mobile telephone. This is an obscure character, meaning tassel or ribbon. It relates to crown. So if you were to study the historical types of crown in China or Japan, you'd likely encounter this character. That's a wrap for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll look at lines 129 and 130, which describe the flow of wealth from generation to generation.
천자문,
千字文、
千字文。
As always, I remind you that I make these videos partly for my own study purposes. My skills are not advanced in these languages, so it's quite likely I've made some mistakes or forgotten something obvious. And if you do notice something or have a question, let me know in the comments. The goal of this channel is to make a video for each line of the 1000 character classic while using this classic as a lens to explore language study methods and connections between the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean languages. I wish you happy and productive language studies.